Hi guys, hope all is well. Thank you for tuning in. Just a quick video on a few fine tunings which you'll probably need to do with this non-brand Chinese incubator. They come in several models, and this one's a 96 egg incubator with two automatic egg turning trays. The first thing you want to do is just make sure you ignore this display here, this particular one, the humidity one, because it's never going to tell you the right level. I do have external one over here which is showing 46% right now, and then as you can see the one on the machine itself is showing 54. So I mean that gives me the reason to ignore that, and I'll probably just put a bit of tape on this and not view this at all. Temperature on the other hand, you can actually calibrate that from the menu. I think it's CA. Just hold that for 3 seconds and scroll down to CA. Press settings again, and I think this is your 0.5 degrees out, or if it's minus 0.5 degrees out, you can actually calibrate it. Basically have a little play around with that CA setting, and you can actually calibrate that to whatever your manual thermometer is showing inside the incubator. So I would say always use external separate gauges, either internal or external. I would prefer the internal ones, and I will in a couple of minutes I'll go through why. The other thing you would want to do with these incubators is to have a little tube drilled through the top of the lid, and have that tube going all the way through down to the bottom to wherever you're going to pour the water in. That will allow you to top up the water without opening the lid. Now that's probably one of the best things you can do, because the leak of humidity or the leak of temperature, these surges would actually give a bad hatch. The other thing is, if you live in a humid area like we do in the UK, you want to allow this machine to run dry without any eggs and without any water for a few days at least. When we gave this one a dry run, the humidity was showing over 50%. Now that's without any water and with no eggs in. After about 3 days, that humidity came down to about 25%, I think it was, and that's when we added some water in. Now even then you're going to be very careful with how much water you add in, because what we also found is that you can't actually use the yellow tray which comes with it. You can't actually put water in that if you live in a humid area. We actually did that, and what happened was the humidity just shot up back to over 50% again. So we had to restart the dry run from day one. What you want to do is start the dry run. You probably see the gauge reads over 50% on day one. That's without any eggs and without any water. And just give it about 3 or 4 days until the humidity drops down to about 25. And once it's come down to 25, you want to put small amount of water in. The amount of water we had to put in was, I don't know if I could just about catch that. Oh, there we go. Now you can probably just about see that cup there. Sorry it's not very clear, but Now that's about 35 to 40 milliliters of water in there. I do have that little tube next to it, which I can top that cup up with. I found that much water would allow the humidity to stay around 45, which is what is required for the chicken eggs. That's what we're incubating in here. Yeah, so just be careful with the amount of water you put in as well. The other thing you want to also do is drill a couple of ventilation holes. Now I actually did that in the two little oxygen holes which were present here. Now I actually went in and drilled those, one over there and one over here. And what you also would probably do is get a couple of these little bolts. Now I use these to actually block off one of the holes if the humidity is showing a little bit below 45. Now that it's over 45, what I would do is I'm actually going to take that out and leave it out, let the humidity come down to 45 again, and then if it's dropped below 45 I'll put that bolt back in and let it build up again. So yeah, the other last thing I would like to say is we have a few gauges in here. We have one gauge which you can just about see over here, and you could probably just see another one down there which I'm just gonna, there you go, you could just about see the second one. Sorry it's not very clear, but as you can see there's two gauges in there. I do have another one further down which you can just about probably catch towards the top center and the top of the screen over there. Now I do have three internal gauges in here and one external one, but just be careful with these external digital ones, because when you buy these they do state tolerance of plus minus 5% or plus minus 5 degrees Celsius. Now what that actually means is it could tell you the temperature either higher than either 5 degrees higher than what it should be in the room, or 5 degrees lower than what it should be in the room. And in case of a humidity meter, it would tell you 5% higher humidity than what's actually in the room, or it'll tell you 5% lower humidity than what's actually in the room. So just be careful on when you buy these digital ones. I'm okay with this one, the reason being I do have a manual one down there as well, so I can always check the reading on that to make sure this is telling the right humidity levels. So yeah, if you follow these few fine-tuning steps, and do let me know in the comment section how you get on, and do like this video if it's helped, and please subscribe. I will have a few more useful videos on here soon, and until then, happy hatching.